He thought he had left the Mafia, until the dead started looking for him. The Saint of the Dead. Scene 1. Bodies that don't stay down. The first body arrived on a Tuesday. No call, no knock, no siren. It was just there, right at the door of the funeral home, as if someone had placed it carefully, as if someone knew exactly where Emiliano Rivas lived now. Emiliano opened the door in silence. He looked at the corpse. Then he looked at the empty street. No cars, no shadows moving, nothing. But he felt something, a weight in his chest, like eyes on his back, very close, or very far. This was not the first dead body he had seen. He had stacked enough of them in another life. But this was the first one that came to him, alone. The man looked about 20-something, thin, well-dressed, good shoes. 3 bullets in the chest, 1 in the forehead. Execution work. Not robbery, not a fight. Emiliano lowered his gaze. Then he saw it. A small mark, almost hidden, right under the clavicle. 3 short cuts. 1 long one, 1 short. That symbol squeezed his throat, froze his hands. He could not mistake it. That code belonged to his past. A past he had sworn to bury. A past tied to one man. The man he had put in the ground himself. The Scarlet Father. His old boss. His spiritual guide. His torturer. A fanatic who mixed scripture with torture. A leader even death seemed to fear. But the Scarlet Father was dead. Emiliano had killed him. Emiliano had buried him. He had thrown the dirt. He had nailed the cross. Oh. Who was carving that mark now? He dragged the body inside, laid it on the steel table, switched on the strong white light, cold, clinical, while he studied the wound, the angle of the cut, the exact rhythm of the lines. He understood. Whoever had left that symbol there was calling him, only him. No one else on earth knew that code, except Emiliano, and the man who taught it to him. The Scarlet Father. Emiliano turned off the light, closed the prep room door, stood still, very still. The silence of the funeral home grew heavy, thick, like fog made of guilt. A shiver ran up his spine, not from the cold, from memory, because that mark, that symbol, was not just a signature. It was a message he knew by heart. It meant only one thing. Listen. Emiliano closed his eyes. And he knew something for sure. His past had just opened a door he thought was sealed forever. The second body arrived 2 days later, Thursday. That was when Emiliano understood. The dead were calling him, one by one, body after body, using a language he thought he had forgotten. A language written in cuts, in symbols, in guilt, in blood. And someone in that city was speaking that language. To reach him. To drag back something he never fully paid for. Or worse. To announce that what he buried years ago was no longer under the ground. Scene 2. Those who return uninvited. The second body came on a Thursday, like the first. No name, no story, no explanation. He found her lying by the door, as if someone had left her gently, with respect, almost with care. A woman, around 50, elegant, dark blue dress, pearl earrings, and the same mark on the clavicle. 3 short cuts, 1 long, 1 short, exact, precise, perfect. He locked the front door, pulled the shades down, turned on the bright lights in the prep room. He examined her in silence. Hands, neck, torso. When he reached the mark, his stomach tightened. Someone had made it with an old scalpel. A model no one used anymore. The same model he had used years ago, when he worked for the Scarlet Father. Emiliano staggered back, leaned against the wall, cold sweat on his forehead. "What are you looking for?" he whispered. "Who sent you?" No answer. Only the heavy quiet of the funeral home. A silence that seemed to be listening. A silence with patience. He grabbed a notebook, wrote, slowly, "2 bodies. Same mark. Both left at my door. Someone knows who I was." When he finished, a sound broke the silence. Soft. Far away. Back. From the hallway. He grabbed a flashlight. Walked slowly. Light footsteps. Shallow breaths. He looked out. The hallway was empty. Dark. Cold. Then he saw it on the floor. A black rosary. Same design the Scarlet Father used to wear. The same kind Emiliano burned the night he tried to leave that life. But this rosary looked new. Shiny. Fresh. He picked it up. The little metal cross felt warm, as if someone had held it seconds before. His heart hammered. "No," he muttered. "This can't be happening." Back in the prep room, he lit a candle. The flame trembled. The smell of hot wax filled the air. He looked at the 2 bodies. Side by side. Both with the mark. Both with empty eyes. Then something strange happened. Small. But real. The candle flickered hard. Too hard. As if someone had walked behind him. As if a presence had crossed the room. He turned. Nothing. Just shadows. Phil. But he felt it. Very faint. A whisper without sound. Pressure on the back of his neck. As if someone spoke. From very far away. Or from deep inside his skull. He pressed a hand to his chest. Breathed. "Don't start," he murmured. "Not here. Not anymore." But the dead do not wait for permission. Especially the ones who arrive alone. Emiliano placed the black rosary beside the bodies. He stared at the marks. Again. Again. And then he remembered. One night. Many years ago. In a warehouse outside Medellin. The Scarlet Father had carved that same symbol on a man's chest. Same pattern. Same rhythm. 3 short lines. 1 long. 1 short. And he said, "This is the seal of judgment. Whoever wears this mark will be judged by the man I choose." Emiliano swallowed. "Are you judging me now?" he whispered. "After all this time?" The candle shook again. Harder. Much harder. At that moment Emiliano knew. This was not coincidence. Not bad luck. Not random violence. Someone was calling him out. Pushing him. Trying to drag him back into a world he had burned. But who? An old enemy? A surviving lieutenant? The father's son? A fanatic copycat? Or worse? Someone who truly believed the Scarlet Father was still alive? He pinched out the candle flame. The room sank into darkness. He stood there, breathing, thinking, remembering. In that darkness he finally accepted one truth. The dead were speaking, and they were speaking only to him. Scene 3. The third body. The third corpse arrived on a Sunday, but this time, no one left it at the door. It was simply there. Emiliano had locked everything the night before. Doors, windows, iron gate. He always did. Habit, paranoia, old instincts. But when he opened up in the morning, there it was. Already on the cold metal table in the prep room. As if it had walked in by itself. As if it had been waiting. An older man. Pale skin. Gray hair. Cheap suit. Same mark on the chest. 3 short. 1 long. 1 short. Identical. Emiliano froze. He did not understand how the body had come in. Or who had carried it. What scared him more was the object in its right hand. A piece of paper. Folded 4 times. He pulled it free. His fingers shook. He unfolded it. 4 words. Written in rushed, ugly handwriting. I taught you to listen. The letters were clumsy. Crooked. But the style was familiar. It was the same kind of writing the Scarlet Father used in his sentences. Not the exact hand, but the same school, same rhythm, same cold intention, an imitation, an heir, a disciple. Emiliano breathed in deep, pressed both hands on the metal table. Enough, he said. Who are you? What do you want from me? The answer was silence. A silence thick as smoke. A silence that almost sounded alive. The overhead lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then everything went dark. Only the red emergency light stayed on, bathing the room in blood-colored glow. Red. Like warning. Like ritual. Like guilt. He clicked on his flashlight. The thin beam cut through the red haze. It slid over the first 2 bodies. Over the third. Along the wall. And then he saw it. A shape. A figure. Very still. Tall. Thin. A man, maybe. But it did not move. Did not breathe. Did not react to the light. He raised the beam. Pointed it straight at the shadow. It did not flinch. Did not break. Just stayed there. Like it was watching. Like it was waiting. He turned the flashlight off. Blink. On again. The shadow was gone. The main lights came back. Bright. Normal. As if nothing had happened. Emiliano sat down. Rubbed his face. I'm losing my mind, he muttered. Or someone wants me to. He read the note again. I taught you to listen. There was something else this time. In the corner of the paper. A small symbol. A crooked cross. Not the Christian one. Broken. Tilted. The same cross the Scarlet Father used to draw on walls after purifying someone. Emiliano felt dizzy. The room tilted. He steadied himself on the table. Opened his eyes. No, he whispered. It can't be him. He can't be alive. Then another thought. Sharp. Ugly. The night he buried the Scarlet Father. Only Emiliano had been there. Only he had seen the body. Only he had shut the grave. No witnesses. No proof. A dark idea slid into his mind. What if the father had never been dead? Or worse. What if someone had dug him up? Or worse than that. What if someone had decided to rebuild his cult? He turned toward the backroom door. It was open a crack. Just 1 centimeter. He never left that door open. He walked over. Pushed it with 2 fingers. The hinges squealed. The tool room swallowed him in shadow. On the floor, something glinted. Another rosary. Not black. Red. Dark red. Red like dried blood. The initiation rosary of the Scarlet Father's inner circle. Only the most faithful got one. The cruel ones. The fanatics. Emiliano picked it up. The beads burned in his palm. This was not a copycat. Not a random lunatic. Not some lost enemy from before. This was someone he knew. Someone raised inside the cult. Someone who grew up breathing that horror. Someone who had inherited the rituals. The only child the Scarlet Father treated like a saint. The only boy Emiliano failed to pull away. The only boy who never spoke, but never stopped watching. The altar boy. Scene 4. The altar boy. The name hit him like a punch. Short, sharp, final. The altar boy. Emiliano had not heard that name in years. Before he dropped the guns. Before he ran from the cult. Before he opened the funeral home. It was an alias. But also a warning. The altar boy was not a child anymore. Hadn't been for a long time. He was a man now. A man raised in the Scarlet Father's shadow. A pure believer. A fanatic. A devotee of holy death. And worst of all, he was a boy Emiliano had never managed to save. He slipped the red rosary into his pocket, felt it burn his skin, like it was still alive. He turned on every light, locked every door, pulled every curtain. Fear still found its way in. He sat and watched the 3 corpses, the first, the second, the third, all marked, all delivered, all part of a twisted sermon. "What do you want from me?" he asked the empty room. This time, something answered. Not words. A sound from outside. A soft knock. At the front door. A chill ran through him. He did not answer. He did not move. Another knock. Harder. Talk, talk. A third. Slow. Heavy. Ritual. He took a prep knife from the tray. Not a real weapon. But metal is metal. He crept to the entrance. Peered through the side glass. The street was empty. No bikes. No cars. No people. Just a small wooden box. Sitting on the doorstep. He opened the door. Picked it up. Took it inside. Set it on the table. Lifted the lid. Inside was a bundle wrapped in white cloth. Clean. Neat. Almost sacred. He unfolded it. His breath caught. A photograph. Old. Yellowed. One he knew very well. 3 figures. The Scarlet Father. Emiliano. And a little boy. Huge eyes. Serious face. A gaze that was not a child's. The altar boy. But someone had added a detail. Black ink across the bottom. Shaky letters. Go back to the beginning. His chest tightened. There was only one beginning. A warehouse in the mountains. Where the father trained his flock. Where Emiliano learned to kill. Where he buried his past. Where he left a grave that should have stayed closed. The phone rang. Unknown number. Old pattern. The way the father used to summon his men. He answered. Said nothing. On the other end. Breathing. Slow. Steady. Familiar. Then a whisper. Soft. Almost childish. Father said you would come back. His stomach twisted. He tried to speak. No sound came. The voice continued. Come, sweet. Terrifying. He left you unfinished work. A short pause. He's waiting. The call ended. Emiliano lowered the phone. Looked at his hands. They were shaking. One truth settled over him. Heavy. Ugly. The altar boy was not just sending him bodies. Or marks. Or sick reminders. He was guiding him. Guiding him to a specific place. Toward a specific end. Toward a truth Emiliano had buried with his own shovel. He put away the photograph. The white cloth. The red rosary. Shut down the lights. Locked the funeral home. And stepped into the street. At that hour, Medellin was another city. Mute. Dark. Held breath. He climbed onto his bike. Engine on. Deep breath. He knew he should not go. Knew it was a trap. Knew it was a signed sentence. But he also knew this. If he did not go back to the beginning, he would be the next body on his own table. He twisted the throttle. And vanished into the night. Scene 5. Back to the beginning. The road into the mountains was narrow. Wet. Black. He rode without hurry. He did not want to arrive. But he could not stop. Every curve carried a memory. An order from the Father. A trial. A death. A sin. The road had watched him grow. It had watched him run away. Now it watched him return. Rain started to fall. Fine and cold. Like the mountain was sighing. You're late. He sped up. Wind stung his face. Trees lined the road like tall guards. silent, judging. At last he saw the warehouse. The same rusty building from years ago. Abandoned. Quiet. But not empty. One light burned inside. Yellow. Weak. Like a candle. He cut the engine. The silence was brutal. He walked to the door. No gun. No backup. Only a stubborn decision not to run. He pushed the door. Stepped inside. The smell hit him. Old smoke. Stale alcohol. Dry blood. Melted wax. And a voice. Soft. Sing-song. Like a prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven. Emiliano shivered. The voice came from the back. From a long table. From a crude altar covered in red candles. There he was. The altar boy. No longer a boy. Tall. Gaunt. Skin like paper. Eyes that never blinked. The red rosary hung on his chest. The same design as the one in Emiliano's pocket. He smiled. Slow. Thin. The kind of smile that never reaches the eyes. I told you you'd come back, he said. Emiliano stayed put. He spoke instead. Why are you doing this? The altar boy tilted his head, as if listening to a voice only he could hear. Because now it's your turn. My turn for what? He pointed at the walls. Emiliano turned. Photos. Documents. Newspaper clippings. Names. Faces. Every dead body that had appeared in his funeral home. Pinned to the wall. Each one marked. 3 short lines. 1 long. 1 short. The altar boy spoke slowly, as if reciting a lesson. Father said every saint needs penance. He said you were his chosen one. He said you would finish the work. Emiliano clenched his jaw. The Father is dead. The smile widened. Yes, because you killed him. But you did not bury him right. A cold fist closed around Emiliano's throat. How do you know that? The altar boy stepped closer. Candle light carved dark shapes on his face. Like moving tattoos. Because I was there. I saw everything. I heard you say, "It's done." And I knew you were lying. Emiliano took a step back. The altar boy did not. Father chose you, he whispered. Not to kill him. To replace him. Air burned in Emiliano's lungs. No, never. I walked away. The altar boy shook his head. Slow. No one walks away. The dead never let go. Guilt never lets go. He raised a hand. Pointed to the altar. A body lay there. Covered with a spotless white sheet. This is the last one, he said. The one you were missing. The piece that completes the message. Emiliano's heartbeat roared in his ears. He moved closer. Very carefully. Very afraid. Fingers tight, he lifted the sheet. Everything inside him broke. It was him. His own face. His own body. Pale. Still. The same scar on the eyebrow. The same mark on the chest. 3 short lines. 1 long. 1 short. His hands went numb. He fell backwards. The altar boy's voice came from behind him. Soft. Patient. Explaining. Father said a saint can only be free if he faces himself. He said you had to watch yourself die. He said your penance was to look at what you are. Emiliano shook. Sweat soaked his shirt. Air refused to enter his lungs. What is this? He asked. The altar boy moved closer. Very calm. This is your judgment. I'm not a saint, Emiliano hissed. The altar boy's eyes shone. Not with madness. With faith. No one is. But you. You are the only one who killed Father. That makes you special. Emiliano stood. His hands shook. His voice did not. What do you want? To kill me? End this. The altar boy shook his head. I didn't come to kill you. That isn't my role. Then what? He touched his chest. Finger on the rosary. I came to give you his place. To hand you what's yours. To close the circle. Nausea rose in Emiliano's throat. Never. I won't go back to that cult. Not with you. Not with anyone. The altar boy stepped so close their foreheads almost touched. You don't get to choose. Emiliano stared into his eyes. Saw devotion. Fanaticism. And something worse. Hope. He answered with something simpler. I do. He grabbed one of the candles. Smashed it against the altar boy's chest. Hot wax spilled and burned through the shirt. The scream was sharp and high. Not holy at all. Emiliano ran. The altar boy lunged after him. The warehouse filled with shadows and broken echoes. Heavy breaths. Stumbling feet. The red rosary snapped and flew across the floor. Emiliano reached the door. Threw it open. Rain slapped his face. Behind him, the altar boy screamed. You'll come back. Father is waiting. Emiliano jumped on the bike. Engine roared. He sped down the mountain road without a single glance back. The warehouse shrank in the mirror. A small, sick dark spot in the rain. Nothing was fixed. Nothing was over. But one truth was clear. The cult was awake. The altar boy was alive. The message was written. And Emiliano was on the list. Final scene. The Saint falls. He reached the city at dawn. Rain still falling. Cold. Dirty. He had not slept. Had not eaten. Had not spoken to anyone. One thought circled his mind. The altar boy would not stop. Not while Emiliano lived. Not while the cult breathed. Not while the Scarlet Father's ghost had followers. He parked in front of the funeral home. Unlocked the door. Stepped in. And knew at once. He was not alone. Lights on. Prep table spotless. Too spotless. The air full of smells he knew well. Wax. Burned wood. Red incense. And blood. He walked forward. Slow. Holding his breath. Every sense alert. No footsteps. No voices. But he felt him. Somewhere in here. Hiding. Waiting. He grabbed a scalpel from the tray. Not much of a weapon. But sharp enough. One step. Another. Another. Then he saw it. A tall shadow in the corner. Still as a statue. He pointed the scalpel. Come out, he said. Now. The shadow did not move. But it spoke. It's time. Step out. Or I drag you out. The figure stepped into the light. The altar boy. Soaked in blood. Not his own. Someone else's. A broken rosary hung from his neck. His smile was crooked. Satisfied. Father said you would fight, he whispered. And that you would lose. Emiliano did not answer. He charged. They crashed into each other. Hard. The sound rang off the tiled walls. The scalpel sliced flesh. The rosary slapped the floor. Candles went out in the shock wave of movement. They tumbled over tables. Metal trays fell. Instruments clattered. The altar boy's hands locked around Emiliano's throat. The grip was brutal. Animal. I'll open your chest, he hissed. Just like he taught me. Just like you taught me. Emiliano slammed his elbow into the ribs. Once. Twice. 3 times. The grip loosened. Barely. Enough. He grabbed a bottle of formaldehyde. Smashed it on the table. Jagged glass gleamed in his hand. He drove it into the altar boy's side. The scream this time was raw. Ripped from somewhere deep. Blood poured, thick and dark. The altar boy staggered. Tried to stand. Couldn't. Emiliano shoved him. Full force. He fell to his knees. The floor turned red. The altar boy glared up at him. Hatred and reverence burning together. Father was right, he coughed. You really are the chosen one. Emiliano stepped closer. No rush. No mercy. I'm not your saint, he said. He plunged the scalpel into the throat. Straight. Deep. The altar boy tried to speak. Only blood came out. He collapsed. Did not move again. Silence flooded the room. This time it was different. Not heavy. Not waiting. Finished. Emiliano stared at the body. At his own hands. At the blood on the floor. He knew the cops would ask questions. Knew the father's last believers would look for someone to blame. Knew stories would spread. But he also knew this. The cult ended here. Today. On this table. With this corpse. He picked up the broken rosary. Opened the incinerator. Threw it in. The beads burned fast. Too fast. As if they had been waiting for fire. Then he cleaned the table. The floor. His arms. For the first time in years. The funeral home did not smell like his own death. Not yet. He turned off the lights. Locked the door. Stepped out into the street. The rain still fell. But it no longer weighed on him. The altar boy was dead. The cult was shattered. And the saint of the dead had passed judgment on himself. No prayers. No absolution. No miracles. Just the only thing he had ever done well. Violence.